The world of work is shifting faster than ever, and if we don't adapt, we're going to get left behind. AI revolution is here, but we don't need to panic. We just need a strategy. The problem? Most professionals are just trying to navigate all of this change, assimilate all of this information while navigating burnout, information overload, career instability. They're just trying to stay sane. Today, I'm going to give you a blueprint about how to future proof your skills. It's a framework I've designed for the future of work based on research about what skills matter and how to build them without losing your mind. So the situation that we're in is challenging and complex now because we've got this urgent need to change and to learn and upskill, but we have these really significant constraints we just talked about. And for me, I that goes right down to prioritization. How am I prioritizing things for myself and for my audience? We're ambitious. We want to keep growing, but we don't always have the time and ability to do it. So how do we decide where we need to grow first? So as I continue to do research for this episode, and honestly I've been working on this and collecting the data for quite some time. I'd read a report from Deloitte, and then I'd read one from McKinsey, and then I'd read another one from the World Economic Forum. And they were listing out all of these, here are the skills that you need for the future of work. And they all sounded amazing. But guess what I felt like? Because I had to just do it all right now and here. And really struggled with how do I prioritize this, or how do I create an architecture for myself and my brain to process where should I start first? So, how can we thrive in this new future while maintaining balance and wellness? Especially when we've got this urgent demand, right? The digital revolution isn't slowing down, and we probably have children and parents to take care of. You have a real dilemma with us where it's how do we balance rapid upskilling with our well being? And then how do we as a team also really consider a holistic solution and not just quick fixes? If you know me, I am big on systemic solutions. I think that, there's definitely room for quick fixes and, you got to stop the bleeding somehow. But there are so many systems, human, technological, relationships, that underlie all of these situations that the better you can fix the systems, the better it becomes a more sustainable outcome. Before we jump into the skills framework I've designed for us to talk about, I just want to remind us about the incredible magnitude and the pervasiveness of the change that we are undergoing in this digital disruption. It is happening across all industries worldwide. And guess what? People are still being asked to do more. A third of employees are feeling pressured for their employees to increase productivity, and 45% only are using AI, according to Qualtrics. That same study also said only about half of the people surveyed were optimistic about this technological future, but the other half is neutral at best. So, you guys, it's a challenging situation to even think about in terms of the speed and pervasiveness of the digital disruption, but we have some additional complications. So, to help us think about this, I created a 4-square quadrant framework using a simple X and Y axis, where the X axis was a continuum focused on people management, from self management on the left hand side to others on the right hand side. And then that Y axis as really focused on systems management with human relationships at the top to technology systems at the bottom of the axis. I hope you guys, that gives you a good visual if you can't see the video. And this is not in any particular order, but we're just going to go kind of left to right. The first quadrant then now being this intersection between human and self, which is very much about the individual level, personal mastery and resilience is what I'm currently calling it. Really open to other ideas that you guys may have, but It's very related to this. How am I showing up in a continuous learning with growth mindset? Am I doing the things that are going to keep me resilient and able to bounce back? Am I managing my burnout and recovery when it does happen? Because honestly, there are so many demands. I do think that it is inevitable, and we don't always have the right boundaries that we need, self included. Personal creativity is another one. How are you thinking about things in a new way and really embracing that? Change agility and emotional intelligence, other being other really large components of this. So this brings me to the intersection of human and others now. And this is a box I'm calling people and cultural leadership. So it's very related to the interpersonal dynamics, cultural awareness, and leadership that you have in these global and multicultural teams. So things like your communication skills, how clear are you? How well are you actively listening? And are you persuasive? Cross-functional collaboration is another huge element, and as well as, I think, leadership ethics. You know, things are a little gray in the world right now, so guiding people with integrity and empathy and doing the right thing even under pressure will be huge, as it is also related to your personal brand. So, are you cultivating that positive professional reputation that resonates with people, your peers, your leaders, teams, right? Are you someone that is attracting top talent to come and work for you? And then I think the other really big one will be cultural intelligence. And do you navigate and respect diverse cultural norms well? And are you listening to other people's perspectives? I do think I mentioned emotional intelligence in the last quadrant, but I think this is one that might be a little overlapping. So I'm working on that a little bit more. But understanding your emotions and empathizing with others to build stronger relationships, I do think is going to be a hallmark of, the future of work. Okay, and that brings us to the third quadrant, which you knew this was coming, the intersection of self and systems, the tech and data proficiency. You knew it was coming, right? So, this is very much about the tech adaptability and savviness that you have. Are you able to quickly learn new tools and platforms and stay ahead in these digital transformations? Are you curious? Do you just get in there and click around? The next one being data literacy in this and interpreting a lot of metrics and statistics and drawing actionable insights. The great thing about AI is that it really does democratize a lot of the data and the analysis itself, but taking those insights and moving them to action, I think are going to be really big. The AI informed decision making, again, related to that, is very much relating, pairing your human judgment with the insights from the AI and the analytics. And then, frankly, standing behind those decisions. And then critical thinking, I'll be honest, I had some real moments recently, even in the news, where I'm like, is that fake news? Is that picture AI generated? So we're not only going to have to get better about that, but if just evaluating complex information logically and questioning our assumptions. And that brings us to our fourth quadrant, which is possibly my favorite. It's the systems and others intersection, which is all about the systems level leadership and strategy. So for me, it's all about the organizational savviness, right? How do you understand the internal politics, decision-making processes? Who is the decider? How are they deciding? And the stakeholder influence to get things over the finish line. This is one of my favorite and really honestly most challenging kinds of work to do. And, you guys will remember I told you I was a systems person. I think that people systems, relationship systems, all of these sorts of things exist. You've just got to understand and figure out how to navigate them. Strategic thinking, connecting your day to day work to the bigger goals, and planning long term and doing things in more proactive, strategic ways where you can also bring the organization along as opposed to being reactive to change or even leadership asks and demands. And innovation at the organizational level. We talked about personal creativity earlier, which is just overall being open to new ideas and exploring those. But really, Are you introducing and shepherding new ideas at scale? Are you fostering a culture of experimentation and innovation within your teams? There is a risk of failure in learning through experimentation and innovation. And how do you create the environment that people feel like they could fail? I think is a really important as we particularly go into some of these, volatile and uncertain and ambiguous things, right? It, people have to test and learn things for themselves in many ways. And then finally, influence, shaping your perspectives of others, decisions, and actions across an organization. And frankly, often without direct authority. I think as AI gets implemented more, teams are going to get smaller and leaner, and you may not have hundreds of people that work for you in the future. Pick one quadrant that you want to grow in. Could be an area that you're weak or you get a lot of feedback in, or you could take a strengths-based approach and pick a place that you're already pretty strong in and you want to grow even further and be the rock star. We will continue to learn about this stuff in more detail as we move forward. I would love to know what you guys are learning about. So if you have a chance to drop a comment, please do that. Send me a DM, but would love to just kind of get a conversation going with anyone. And I'd love to know what skills you think are the most critical right now, right? I haven't prioritized these because I also think that it varies by individual, but would love to know what you guys are thinking. If you're serious about future proofing your career, please subscribe to the Shift Show and we will break down all these skills, trends, all of the things you need to be amazing in the future of work. I'm Rachel Bourne and this is the Shift Show.